Hey guys, I just rewatched the Pretty Little Liars episode from last night. I, I just felt like rewatching it just because, well, that and I completely missed the ending. I missed the very important stuff. It made me mad. But getting into it very quickly, this is episode 11 review. So, we start off, Hannah is trying to cover up her bandage, her little wound that she got at Noel's cabin and everything. And she puts on this very interesting, elaborate skirt costume that she wore back when she did a play. And Ren actually calls her, but Hannah, she hits ignore. And Spencer's like, what's going on with you and Ren? And Hannah's like, nothing, and blah, blah, blah. So then Ted shows up, and Ted found a thumb drive. And they actually showed it at the beginning of the episode. You know how they do like flashbacks of previous shows? Well, apparently Ian and Spencer, they were in a scene and she was holding up the thumb drive. So Ted says that they found the thumb drive in a back pew of the church and tells Hannah's mom that pretty much what this thumb drive is videos of the girls, but he said, I don't think they knew they were being filmed and that they should probably send it to the police. So Hannah's mom, she puts it down on a table and Ted leaves. Then Hannah and Spencer come downstairs and they try to take it. And later on, Hannah's mom is like, you know what? I'm going to look through these and then decide what we're going to do. Then you go to Aria and Mr. Fitz. It's Mr. Fitz's birthday. And all of a sudden, he's talking about Maggie and wondering how she's doing, especially since after hearing Aria tell him that his mom basically, threatened her with money. And he's worried about that. And next we go to Emily and Paige. Emily tells Paige, she and Nate, they had their little kissing thing going on. And then I know it feels like I'm going through this pretty quickly, guys. I'm sorry. It's just one of those days. Cece talks to Spencer about the little trunk show or something with all these clothes and all these very cute accessories and stuff. And she mentions how Spencer was supposed to be helping her, and Spencer said she could get the girls to help out as well. Then they see Emily and Paige together, and Cece's like, what is Emily doing with pigskin? And Spencer's like, pigskin? Then she goes to a flashback with Allison and the girls in whose ever bedroom that was. And Spencer's trying on some clothes, and of course Allison's like, that shirt would look a lot better on me. Let me try it on. And Hannah and Aria notice that Allison has kind of like a really bad scratch, like bruise, scar, whatever you want to call it, on her shoulder. And she said, oh, Pigskin did this in soccer. She kicked me, blah, blah. And everyone's like, who's Pigskin? And she said, oh, it really doesn't matter. And Spencer remembers that. The very important detail. So then we go to Caleb and Hannah. They're in computer class. They're chatting and everything on the computer. And Hannah's pretty much like, what are we going to do about this thumb drive? I want to steal it and stuff. And then Caleb's being all romantic and stuff. Then who comes in to ruin it? Jenna. And she says, other people need to use the computers too. Your time is up. I was like, Hannah, could you punch her again? Please, please. I mean, sure, she can see this time, but you know what? Technically, you could punch her again. But Hannah just gets up and walks away. Then Nate pretty much asks Emily out, and he's feeling like, okay, we kissed, all this stuff is happening between us, but Emily explains to him, look, I'm dating Paige, and, Nate says some things he really shouldn't have, comparing her to Maya and stuff like that, and then Emily just pretty much gets on the bike and pedals away. And then Aria goes to Maggie's class. Maggie is now a teacher, and she goes pretending to be a girl named Amy. And you find out some very interesting things while Aria is there pretending to be someone else. Next, Spencer talks to Emily about Paige, especially after the story that Cece has told her, and Emily gets very defensive and gets really upset about how Spencer is talking about Paige, and she just pretty much storms off in just a angry rage. Well, not rage, but she was upset. Then Hannah goes and talks to Jenna and talks to her about, you remember the video of you and Toby in your bedroom? Well, a thumb drive was found, and Jenna's all like, and Jenna just has a stank attitude during this, looking at Hannah the way she does, especially after the computer scene. I was like, I'm not feeling Jenna at all in this episode. But Hannah mentions that to Jenna, and she wants her to know that she and her friends had nothing to do with that if the police get a hold of it. Then Nate shows up right after that and talks to Hannah about Emily, and Hannah's like, Nate, Emily's gay, dude, okay? And then they see, of course, Jenna's still sitting there, and Hannah says something about Jenna playing Helen Keller. And then Nate's like, so she was pretending to be blind? And then when Jenna walks by, he's like, hey, Jenna, I know you see me, girl. And Jenna just looks at him. I mean, she's wearing her sunglasses. She's looking at him and just gets in the car. I was like, ah. So then we go back to Aria and Maggie, who Maggie thinks her name is Amy. And they're talking a little bit about school, education. And then one little boy comes up and asks Maggie a question. And she says, no, Malcolm, not today. And then come to find out, Malcolm is Maggie's son. And Aria is like, oh my gosh, that's Mr. Fitz's son. Oh my gosh, that's my boyfriend's child. And then come to find out later on, it turns out that Allison and Paige were fighting about Emily. And Cece's telling Spencer this story. Apparently, Allison took some of Emily's stationery and wrote Paige kind of like a love letter and told Paige to leave her love letter in a certain area. And Allison gets out of Cece's car and is basically threatening Paige with the letter that Paige wrote to Emily. And basically saying all this stuff. I wonder how isn't your dad still the deacon of the church? I wonder how he would feel knowing that basically you like girls. And Paige gets upset. Look, guys, I'm sorry. I think Paige could have taken Allison in a fight. Honestly, I really feel that way. And Cece, she was just rubbing me the wrong way in that scene. I was like, your true colors really just showed right there, Cece. Even though it was like a flashback. So then Emily ends up asking Paige about Allison. And Paige says, why are your friends talking about me and not to me? I was like, Paige? There you go. Even though I don't agree with Paige very much, and you'll find out why at the end of this review, or if you've already seen the episode, then you know. I was like, go ahead, Paige. Go, girl. And then, basically, what did I write that right there? I believe, then, isn't that when Wesley and Aria, I believe, talk? Yeah, that's when they talk, and she says, I went to go see Maggie. Maggie has a son who looks just like your brother. And he's like, oh, okay. And Spencer was in the dressing room, and there's a snake in a box that tries to practically kill her. And then Cece finally shows up, and Spencer falls on the floor. And I'm like, how did a daggone snake? I don't know. That was just the weirdest part of that show to me. And then come to find out, the knife that was in Maya's bag is no longer there. It isn't. And, of course, it was in Emily's room. Who do we know who's been in Emily's room? Paige. Hello. Then, Hannah and Caleb, they are in the dressing room. They're all smoochy, kissy, because he snuck in and all that. Let me see here. Apparently, you find out that Ezra talked to Maggie, but Maggie never mentions Malcolm. She never does. And makes you wonder. I mean, obviously, Ezra's mom really must have paid her off to not ever even mention Malcolm. Poor thing. So then at the little, I'm just going to call it a boutique. Okay, that's what I'm going to call it. Paige shows up with Emily, and she and Spencer actually talk while Emily's getting dressed. And they talk a little bit about how Paige cares about Emily. And then Emily, this is what happens. Hannah and Spencer think that the knife or whatever is in Paige's bag. So they trick Paige into going to where Emily is changing clothes so they can grab the bag and look through it. Now, Emily comes out, sees them with the bag, gets mad, says that they're about to leave. Come to find out, you find out that there was something in Paige's bag that made them realize something's not right. Like, they finally got their proof, but you don't find that out till the end of the episode, which is I'm about to talk about in a second. So apparently Paige and Emily, they talk when they get back to whoever house they were at, and Paige breaks down. She says, "Yeah, Allison and I, we didn't get along. We do have, in a way, have a history together, a mean history." And she says that she just tortured her during ninth grade, and at one point she just wanted to end her life. And she said, "But if I die, she basically would have won, and she wasn't going to let that happen." Then she cries in Emily's arms, and then you see someone walk up towards Emily, and it's Jenna. And Jenna basically tells Emily, "Be careful who you're hanging out with." And she leaves right before Paige walks out. And then while Emily's standing there watching Jenna leave, Spencer calls Emily's phone, but Paige hits the ignore button. That girl rubbed me the wrong way from the jump. I'm telling you right now, she rubbed me the wrong way. Paige, you always had that crazy look in your eye. You always did. Oh, and the thing that they found in Paige's bag, you guys remember the earring that Aria placed, or the earrings, I should say, that Aria placed in Allison's, I guess, casket, and one of them showed up earlier in the season. The second one just showed up because it was in Paige's bag. So now everyone is like, oh, Paige must be A. Then at the end of the episode, you see A at a jukebox. They put some money in and they play a song. Then there's another person wearing the black gloves and everything. And the first person who started the jukebox takes the little key, gives it to the other person, and then they both walk away from each other. So there is an A team. Now, do I still think Jenna may be part of it? I'm not sure. I really don't. I think she has something to do with something, but it may not be that. Or she's just a bitter person who went through a lot of crap, basically. So, Paige, she's looking, it looks to me like Paige might be it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I don't think there's really anything else to say other than Cece, you know, like I said, she rubbed me the wrong way in that one flashback. And I think that's pretty much it. So this was a really good episode. I really liked it. Even though I said that the part about Spencer and the snake was just so odd, I was like, okay. It added some suspense to the show. So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. And I apologize for the lighting in this video. It is jacked up. Take care, guys. Bye.